And welcome into the Tuesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Hope everybody's off to a wonderful start here on this Tuesday morning. Joe Rexrode, happy Tuesday to you. What's going on?
Not much. Just stayed up to watch the Eagles completely implode, which is very bad for me, and pigskin pick them and good for Ian. So I'm in a bad mood.
Well, it's good for me in the NFC playoff race. I know that. Way to go, Chargers. Nice job.
Go, Chargers, go.
Yes. Go, Chargers. Good stuff. I did not watch any of the game because I was watching Frozen, because that's my life now. But I did hear there were a lot of turnovers in that game, Joe. A lot of turnovers in that one.
I mean, 4 picks and a fumble, and a couple of the picks were, tipped, including the last one were tipped. So, they weren't totally on Hurts, but my goodness, you talk about a game that you just hand to an opponent. I mean, because their defense is, as we all know, watching them, their defense is absolute championship defense.
Yep.
And it makes no sense that they struggle this much on offense. I just don't understand it.
With the players that they have, I have no idea how they're that bad. Ian Safar, how we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. I stayed up for most of the game. I believe it was 16-16. I think maybe Philly had just taken the 19-16 lead when I went to sleep, and I was like, all right, I guess that's it for the pick. But I also lost. I was losing out on the TV to Wipeout. Wipeout was on.
Nice.
The 6-year-old would not let me put the game on, even though I tried to tempt her that there was a Monsters, Inc. version of the game. And still no dice.
Nothing.
No.
That's not good enough.
So I showed her.
Wipeout.
You know that show where they're running across all the obstacles and they're over the water and whatever,
and they fall in there.
You're trying to get through the obstacle course without just totally eating it.
Okay.
Not as good as MXC, Most Extreme Challenge, which is an elite show. But so I showed her a couple of clips on the socials, like, hey, look, this is on. Don't you want to turn the game on?
Nothing.
No dice.
Nothing.
But I texted you guys. I missed the app, of course, would not kick on until 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first quarter. So I missed that much of the game. And then, I woke up to surprising to see. I guess it shouldn't be too surprising to see Jalen Hurts throw an interception in the end of the game, given how it went. But I was surprised that the Eagles lost.
They're reeling right now. They're now at 8-5, and I don't know, man. Their offense is rough. Joe, which kind of leads us to our conversation. I mean, the playoff race in both the AFC and the NFC, very interesting. I mean, I would imagine if Roger Goodell is waking up right now and looking at the standings, he's pretty happy with what's going on just in terms of what the races are going to look like down the stretch here. In the AFC, you got 2 11-2 teams in Denver and New England. You got New Blood and Jacksonville leading their division. Pittsburgh, with a huge win in Baltimore over the weekend, is at 7-6. So those are your 4 division leaders in the AFC. And then right now in the wild card race, you got the Chargers, the Bills, and the Texans occupying those spots. And then right behind them are the Colts, and we're going to get to them here in just a second because holy smokes, could something amazing happen there. The Baltimore Ravens at 6-7, and then the Chiefs at 6-7. By the way, Miami has quietly crept up into at least that sort of territory. They're at 6-7 as well. So those are the teams that are in it in the AFC. And Joe, I guess you could throw Cincinnati in there. I'm not going to do that. They're 4-9. I think they're totally done at this point. So Bengals going to be out of it as well. On the NFC side of things, the Rams are 10-3. The Packers are 9-3-1. The Eagles have dropped to 8-5. The Bucks are 7-6. And in the wild card race, you got a 10-3 Seattle team, a 9-4 San Francisco team, and a 9-4 Chicago team with the with the Lions right outside at 8-5. I mean, the Bears went from the number 1 seed. They lost 1 game, and they went all the way down to 7, barely clinging onto a playoff spot. That's what things look like in the NFC. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and I think, I heard Aikman saying this, that I would agree with him last night that I think the AFC has been the better conference, and I think now I think there's just more good teams in the NFC now. And I guess some of that is a little bit of disrespect for the new money for the Broncos and the Patriots. Obviously both good teams, but when the Chiefs do what they're doing, which I mean, I think, and by the way, someone made this point too, and it's a good one to remember. I need to find the tweet to get the exact. Brady went 9 years without a Super Bowl, went from like age 28 to 36. For anybody who's like, Mahomes is done or whatever, like I'd go ahead and keep an open mind on what might happen with Patrick Mahomes. They obviously have, like, that team has issues. They're old in some areas. They're not good enough in some areas. Just remember, Brady won a decade, and then he won 4 more after that. So, I think Mahomes we probably aren't done having heard from Mahomes yet, but
probably not.
But this team is bad, and they're losing all the close games, which is a total regression from last year. And obviously the Ravens, I mean, and even the Bills are like not, what they were supposed to be. So I do think that the NFC is stronger. I mean, I guess you could turn it around and say, well, are you sure the Bears are that good? And that's a fair point. But I do think the Seahawks are good for real. And obviously I think the Rams, I don't know. I think the Rams still might be the best team in the NFC, but it's going to be a heck of a playoff.
All right. So the Colts are dealing with Daniel Jones's injury, which we talked about yesterday. And it kind of feels like they are just totally screwed when it comes to, I mean, they're trying to get Riley Leonard healthy to play quarterback. Anthony Richardson, with a fractured orbital bone earlier in the year with the exercise band incident. And I read this yesterday, Joe. I was just kind of scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, well, that's not real. I'm just going to keep going. And then all these other people kept talking about it. Apparently, Phillip Rivers is going to visit Indianapolis today and go through a workout. He has not played in the NFL since 2020. I mean, he's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame one day, I think. But Phillip Rivers, at the age of 44, by the way, yesterday was his birthday, so I guess happy birthday to Phillip Rivers. 44 years old, apparently going to go to a workout with the Colts where he is giving real consideration to coming back in there and playing. Joe Rexrode, what do you think of that? And what do you think of the Colts being like, yeah, let's bring Phillip Rivers in?
Well, he should be in the Hall of Fame anyway for having 31 kids. But
it's true.
It's not something I would have expected. Also, I when you say 44, like without knowing, I would have guessed maybe a little more like 48. So I guess like from that perspective, I mean,
spring chicken.
So I mean, so you're telling me that he hasn't played since, like, he never played football in his 40s? Is that right?
That adds up.
Yeah. So I guess he kind of retired young. I mean, relative to what some of these guys are doing these days. I don't know. Again, this is where, unfortunately, we found out that Ryan Tannehill actually did tell people he's done, because to me that would be a much better choice for the Colts. Or I was going to say, obviously it's not like they can go trade for Cousins now. So I guess, man, desperation. If you do what they did with the Sauce Gardner trade, I suppose you have to try to do something now, right?
I mean, I guess, is Phillip Rivers, I don't know, who hadn't played in the league in 5 years, is that the way we should go on this? I will admit I'm very intrigued by it. I don't know. I mean, look, he's got to get through the workout, and then they've got to, I guess, determine that that's the path that they're going to go as a starter, which is not guaranteed. But I will admit, if he does, I will be very intrigued to watch him play. More importantly, I'd be very intrigued to have him mic'd up the whole time, so we could hear a few more dead gummits out there. Be good.
God darn it.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued too. I mean, what? So remind me then. Without who else do they have right now?
Well, Riley Leonard's hurt.
It's Riley Leonard.
Yeah,
and Riley Leonard's hurt too.
Yeah. So they're in,
and he's not. You can't even. You're not winning.
I mean, yeah.
Riley Leonard.
So they're in deep trouble at quarterback. I mean, there's no doubt about that. but I don't know. Phillip Rivers being on the couch for the last 5 years and not playing. I know he's been coaching high school football, so good for him. But not playing has been it's kind of amazing that he's even given this a shot.
A team made up entirely of his children. No, well, yeah. I mean, look, I laughed at the Flacco thing though too. Now I know it's not the same thing. You're talking about half a decade.
Yeah.
But I laughed at that, and Flacco, Flacco just comes out there wherever he is, just winging the ball around. So I'm very intrigued because I'm like, there's Tannehill. What else would there be out there?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Rivers has a grandkid, as a lot of people have pointed out on the text line. You think he was just looking around at home one day? He's like, my God, there's a whole lot of mouths to feed around here. I got to go back. I got to go back to the NFL.
Yeah, I guess, man. Or maybe he's just being nice to the Colts, I mean, maybe he's just going to show up and, I mean, that's the thing. Like, what kind of shape is he in?
I mean, I would assume good shape if he's at least giving it some consideration. Like, I hope he hadn't been sitting around eating bonbons for the last 5 years. And like, yeah, you know what? I can still go out there and play some quarterback.
Yeah. Are Colts fans excited about this? Do Colts fans, I mean, he was better than like some of the other when they went through their quarterback walking through the desert for years. I guess he was probably the best one of all those guys, right?
Do we think this idea originated from Carly Ursay-Gordon on the headset on Sunday? It's like, hey guys, I'm gonna give Phillip a call. Don't worry about it. We got a quarterback coming in on Monday. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, every order is given via headset. Is that?
We'll see what happens on the Phillip Rivers
front.
front.
Drive-through.
As multiple people pointed out, it is amazing that looks like he's going to give it a shot. I think Andrew Luck is still, 36 years old at this point. So, I mean, theoretically, he should still be playing good football for the Colts right now.
Oh, yeah. He could come back. Yeah, seriously, call him again. Why not? I mean, give it a try, man. He probably still has 5 good years of quarterback play if he wanted to. I mean, it's not like it's going great for Stanford right now.
Nope. 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll continue our discussion on the NFL. We'll take your thoughts on the idea of Phillip Rivers coming back into the National Football League. Plus, are the Chiefs actually cooked? Is this the end of an era here? What about Baltimore? What do we make of what's going on in the AFC right now? We'll continue that discussion as well. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Scott Ramsey from the Nashville Sports Council and the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl will join us coming up at 7 o'clock. We'll get into the matchup between Tennessee and Illinois with him, so looking forward to that. Taking your thoughts on the AFC playoff picture, on Phillip Rivers potentially returning to the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts, 615-737-1025. Our phone number. Joe, you mentioned the Chiefs. I mean, they're gonna need some help here as number one, they're gonna need to win the rest of their games, and two, they're gonna need some help here the rest of the way. So you got them in the fold. A lot of new blood at the top, as we mentioned. Denver, Patriots, Jacksonville. I do look at this, and if you're Buffalo, like think about this heading into the year. You tell the Buffalo Bills, hey, week 15 is going to come around in the NFL. The Chiefs are going to be out of the playoffs. The Ravens are going to be out of the playoffs. The Bengals are going to be out of the playoffs. You're talking Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. There's still some time for those teams to get back in there, I guess, especially Baltimore with their division. We'll see what happens. But it feels to me like this should be, Joe, Buffalo's year to break through and win. And yet I look at him and I watch him, and Josh Allen could still put on the Superman cape and get things done, and great performance by him in the second half the other day against the Bengals. But as you mentioned, they don't really feel like they are what they were supposed to be in terms of the entire picture of their team. And you look at them and you say, well, if it's not going to be this year for Buffalo, when's it going to be for Buffalo? Same thing with Baltimore, right? Like if it wasn't going to be this year with Baltimore, with the roster that they put together and what we thought they were heading into the year, and I know that Lamar's been hurt through some of this as well, like when's it going to be for Baltimore? It's a very interesting time in the AFC from that standpoint of those teams that have been powers for so long, and those quarterbacks specifically. It's a weird year for all of them. I guess at least for Buffalo, they're still in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like Buffalo's still going to figure it out, But obviously they're going to have to go on the road and excuse me. I mean, probably, I guess, there's enough time here still with 4 games. I mean, but it's hard to imagine the Patriots and Broncos both collapsing. The Bills do get another shot at the Patriots coming up real soon here, I believe, on
this
the
week.
road.
Yeah.
It's this week. Yeah. So, I mean, I still look at the Bills and I'm like, with all they've done, I feel like they absolutely could make a run. I mean, I until last week, I thought the same thing about the Ravens, but I mean, really the last 2 weeks, I mean, they just get completely blown out by the Bengals and then, lose at home to the Steelers. I don't know, man. I still feel like that catch was a touchdown. I mean, that brings me back to like Calvin Johnson. It wasn't as bad as like the Calvin Johnson one in Chicago a long time ago, but I still now it's like, I mean, they're 6-7. I mean, they'll get the Steelers again too. By the way, they will get to go there, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they won it and still won the division. But I mean, I don't know.
They got a tough path though. They've got the Bengals coming up this week, who just beat them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
then they've
badly.
got the Patriots at home, and then they're on the road at the Packers, and then they're on the road at the Steelers to close things out.
Yeah, that is tough, man. I mean, again, that's all you have to do is, you're 1 game back in your division. All you have to do is, win your division. So you do get like the chance to equalize things with the Steelers. But that's really tough. It's just hard to believe in them. I mean, I guess with the Bills, I would go there. It's just hard for me to believe that the Broncos or the Patriots are going to be Super Bowl team this year. But you know what? We do have crazy years sometimes where a team comes out of nowhere, and those two, the Patriots are more out of nowhere than the Broncos are. But both of them, I mean, no one had them at 11-2 at this point.
Well, I mean, there were some people that picked Denver to win the division this year, but to already have it, basically wrapped up at this point. I know the Chargers are hanging around in there. But Denver's 11-2. The Chiefs are actually eliminated from contention to winning their division. Like nobody had that by the time Week 15 rolled around here. So, I still watch Denver, and I guess again we're going to find out more this weekend because they play the Packers at home. But I watch Denver, and it's like, well, their defense is really, really good, and then their offense, I have no idea. Like some games they look okay. Some games, frankly, they just look bad on offense, but they've found a way to just roll out these wins here. They've gotten to 11-2. So I mean, if you get to 11-2 in the NFL, you got to be taken seriously if you're the Broncos. But I think people are still hesitant. You look at the Patriots and maybe you feel like they're a year or two ahead of schedule. The Broncos, if you watch them play, don't really look all that impressive offensively. And I think people are just naturally coming back to the Bills in the AFC, which I understand. I tell you what, though, a team that looks more and more dangerous by the week with how well they play defensively, I don't think, like, would it surprise you at all right now? This is what the matchup would be in the first week of the playoffs. The Patriots at home hosting the Texans. Like, would it surprise you if the Texans won that game with how good their defense is?
No, it would not. Yeah, it's interesting too. Patriots and Broncos both won 10 in a row. Patriots are 6-0 away, which is interesting and obviously very impressive. But no, it would not at all surprise me. The Texans are dangerous. I would be more. I know that the Chargers found a way, and I mean they should send all the fruit and cheese baskets to Jalen Hurts today. But I'd be a lot more afraid of the Houston Texans in the playoffs than the Chargers right now.
Yeah, it feels like Buffalo's year, doesn't it?
It does.
It kind of feels like Buffalo's year.
But then I watch Buffalo, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't think their defense is very good.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Just without Kansas City and Baltimore, like this has got to be their year to strike without Mahomes and Lamar.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen will probably be the best quarterback in the AFC in the playoffs. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking Bills.
It's going to be, I think the playoffs, and there's still some time for the seeding and the teams to shake around here over the next few weeks. But right now, like if the playoffs started today, it would be really fascinating. Like you'd have good old Liam Coleman Duval hosting the Bills in a playoff game to start right now. Like, congratulations, Jacksonville. Here's Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean that's another one where it's like, oh man, I'd have to buy the road team there. But again, the Chiefs and the Ravens are definitely very different situations. Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs. Again, I'm looking at the Ravens. You mentioned their tough schedule, and it is tough. But so the Steelers, again, one game up, and they host the Ravens in the finale, which certainly could be. But before then, I mean, they have the Dolphins Monday Night Football, and the Dolphins, the Dolphins are quietly huge game. Then they're at Detroit fighting for its playoff life. And then they're at the Browns before they're. So, I mean, that division, like we could still be talking about the Ravens hosting a playoff game when this is all done. And I don't know, maybe we're still talking about Ravens Bills, which is what I thought would be probably the thing this year.
Can you imagine if it cycles all the way back around to that? And it's like, yeah, the Ravens were 8-9 and they won their division, and the Bills were in second place in their division and won all these playoff games on the road. But that's what ends up happening.
Ravens at Cincy this week.
It's a big one.
Yeah. After just getting you wonder if last week breaks Cincy because they just know they're done. I don't know. But it was ugly the first just a couple weeks ago on Thanksgiving. Ugly what Cincinnati did to them.
Speaking of schedules, there is a stat that I saw yesterday as it relates to the Tennessee Titans that I wonder if we look at it, does it make us view this year's Tennessee Titans team any differently at all? We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Ian and I were just discussing what I believe is going to be an 8:52 puck drop tonight for the Nashville Predators. That'll be fun.
Ooh.
Which
Sounds
means
really
I was doing
great
the math in
for
my
you.
head. It's like, okay, so means game be over right around 11:30.
A home game.
Which
That
means
is.
to be a minimum of me getting out of there at the earliest 12:30, home earliest at 1 o'clock. Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes.
8:52 home game on a weeknight.
Thank
Does
you,
this
TNT.
not? Yeah, I mean, does this not hurt the Preds when it comes to attendance?
I mean, I can't imagine that they're overly thrilled about it, but sometimes it just kind of is what it is with the national TV schedule.
Yeah, TV does what TV wants to do.
That is true. That is true. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. Joe, I saw a stat yesterday that I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway for Titans fans, just to try to put a little of this in context. First off, Titans are coming off a win, baby. We're going to hammer that home all week. It's good time right now for the Tennessee Titans. Mike McCoy, inspiring speech in the locker room after the game. The vibes are high right now with the Tennessee Titans. So you get the win in Cleveland to get your second win of the year. And, Joe, I saw Aaron Schatz put this out there yesterday, and he does some work for FTN Fantasy. And John Glennon was talking about it. And I think it's worth bringing up. The toughest schedule this year from a couple of different metrics. And he used DVOA of the opponent. So you're talking about efficiency as it's related to kind of the rest of the NFL and the context of who you're playing matters when they calculate all this stuff. Like there's a lot of things that go into DVOA. But the Titans, according to the stat that he put out there, are number 2 in the league in terms of the toughest schedule this year. Arizona, actually, they're tied for first. I mean, you got the Cardinals at 9.3% DVOA, Titans at number 2 at 9.3%. To round out the top 5, you got the Texans at 3, the Niners at 4, and the Eagles at 5. If you just want to go like straight up strength of schedule on the ESPN Football Power Index, Joe, Titans ranked number 2 in that as well. The Giants are actually number 1. The Titans are 2, and the Chiefs are at number 3. So now you could also say with that, Joe, it's like, well, some of these teams have gotten to play the Tennessee Titans at least once, maybe twice. So that factors in to how good their strength of schedule is, because when you're just beating the crap out of the Titans all the time, all of a sudden those teams look really good. But I think by the numbers, when you factor all that in together, Joe, it's fair to say that if you were expecting the Titans, who finished the worst team in the league last year, to walk into it this year and just have this easy schedule because of the way things went last year, it has definitely not shaken out that way for the Tennessee Titans. And some of that is just because of the divisions that they've had to play against, right? Like, I mean, look, it's not their fault, but they had to play the NFC West this year, right? And Seattle's pretty darn good, and the Rams are pretty darn good. And they haven't even played San Francisco yet, but they're 9-4. They're pretty darn good. Jacksonville's way better than we thought they were going to be. Indy, particularly at the time, is way better than we thought they were going to be. So some of it's just bad luck. But my question, Joe, is as you look at all that, does that change how you view this year for the Tennessee Titans at all, if you're a Titans fan?
Yeah. I mean, a little, but I mean, you know, what are we talking about here? So if the schedule was what we thought it was going in, I mean, we're talking about a 4-win team.
I think I had 5 before the year, 4 or 5. Can't remember. One of the two.
I mean, they do have they have a competitive loss at Denver with they got handled by the Rams, blown out by when the Colts were really rolling 26-0 to the Texans. You know, I mean, you got a loss to the Raiders in there. You know, you have more blowouts, Patriots, Colts blowout. You know, they were competitive with the Chargers. They were competitive the second time with the Texans. They did come back in that Seahawks game, and that was a good Cam Ward day. And then again, just a total blowout against the Jags. So, I mean, really, they haven't been competitive even in most of those games, which is why they're I think their point differential, is it the worst in the entire NFL? It's awfully close. But regardless, so yeah, I mean, it does turn out. It's a great example for people, you know, for like going into a season, what we think a schedule is, how tough it is, how easy it is, whatever. So many things. So often, I think those preseason notions turn out to be wrong, or a lot of them do, so that's a good reminder. But I think for the Titans, just being non-competitive in so many of those games, I guess, are we just talking about closer losses?
Probably.
If they didn't have, I mean, that's so.
Yeah, they're clear of the Raiders by 20.
I wouldn't give them too much grace.
Well, let the record show. It doesn't make me change it, how I view it all that much. When you look at it, like being objective in the conversation, the scheduling part of this has worked out pretty poorly for the Tennessee Titans relative to, finishing in last place and the worst team in the league last year. They have not had any favors handed their way with how this is all shaken out here.
Right. Or did they get a big favor because they could still get the number one pick?
Well,
I mean,
so.
yeah. But they may have screwed that up too. Yeah, and they are, by the way, they are last in point differential, -1. Yeah, minus 156. So it's the Titans and the Raiders in an absolute battle to see if either of them can get to minus 200 by the end of the year. It's possible.
Well, I thought it was going to be different. They did go 2-1 in the preseason, so
that is true.
Can we please remember that when we all start talking about the importance of preseason games next year?
Oh God, are they still going to do preseason games? I keep waiting for them to just completely eliminate them. But yeah.
Rob from Nolansville says, if we were at all competitive, even in losses, in more than 20% of our games, I'd look at the season differently. Instead, it's been a dumpster fire. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, by the numbers right now, Joe, the two best teams they've played have been New England and Denver, just by the record. They actually played pretty well against Denver. I know it was week 1. They probably should have – I don't know if they should have won the game, but they were in position to have won that game. New England, they were not. I mean, they just got destroyed by the Patriots. I mean, the other part of this is I think you can make a good argument that the worst team that they've played, which is the Raiders, they did not play very well in that game either. So I get it. Like I don't necessarily buy into that as well. It is kind of amazing when you look at it, though, just the way that this has worked out. Like you've got Indianapolis, particularly when you play Indianapolis at the beginning part of the year. You played them twice before the month of October was even wrapped up, and this was before Daniel Jones was dealing with a leg injury, certainly before he was dealing with the Achilles. You had Jonathan Taylor at the time playing like an MVP candidate in the league. Jacksonville, we just saw. I mean, Jacksonville handled them as well as any team's handled them so far this year. And like I said, they haven't even played San Francisco yet. They still got Jacksonville again. So the way it's kind of shaped out for them this year, the schedule has not done them any favors. I would not, if I'm Mike Borgonzi, if I'm Chad Brinker, if I'm maybe Adam Strunk, I don't know that I would be looking at the schedule and being like, well, you know what? We got a real tough break on the scheduling part, but we think in actuality in a normal year, we're actually like a 6-win team instead of a 3-win team or whatever they end up being at the end of the year.
Yeah. Let's hope no one says anything like that. That would be not well received. It is the worst luck of it is probably, like you just said, the Colts. The fact that they had to play the Colts, and the Colts were one of the stories of the NFL. I mean, everybody would like to play the Colts now.
Yeah.
And whoever
until Phillip Rivers gets out there and starts slinging it around.
Wow, that's true. He beat the Titans at least once, right?
I'm sure he did
during that little time. I think he did.
I had to go back and look. I mean, that's so long ago. I don't remember.
Know.
Let me look. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, that was he 20. So he was 2020.
Yeah,
the Titans definitely won there in 2020.
They won
I think
Indianapolis, but the Colts won in
Colts won here
in Nashville. Thursday night game. Colts 34, Titans 17.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Why the heck do I not remember that?
I don't know.
I feel like now I'm having flashbacks of Ryan Porth saying like they'll never beat the Colts ever again.
Maybe I think that could have been when that happened.
But
yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that part of it's bad luck for them for sure. And I mean, the Patriots are obviously better than we thought. But even with the Patriots going into the year, no one thought they'd be 11-2, but we still all expected them to come in here and thump the Titans, right? The Vrabel to come in here and handle them. I mean, the Jags are certainly better than we thought, and they have to play them again. And based on the first meeting, that's probably not going to go too well. We figured the Texans would be good, So they're probably about what they were supposed to be after all the ups and downs.
I mean, it is kind of amazing. They got 4 games left here at San Francisco, home against the Chiefs, home against the Saints, and on the road against Jacksonville. And you're looking at it and you're like, I think the 2 teams that they've got the best chance to beat there would be the Saints and the Chiefs. I think that's where they are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how much, I mean, the Chiefs have to be perfect. So, but at that point, the Chiefs may be done. This week could eliminate the Chiefs, I believe, right?
I think so. Who do they have this week? Let's see here. The Kansas City Chiefs
I know that
the
they
Chargers.
have.
There you go.
Yeah, they have the Chargers at home. So, yeah, I mean that is which is massive for both teams. I mean, the Chargers, I think, still tough sledding to get in. Probably.
I mean, Herbert could not even hold the ball last night. That was crazy.
It was. I saw they're showing some highlights right now. I mean, the amount of times the ball hit the ground in this game is unbelievable.
He dropped the ball like every time he got hit. It was like almost painful to watch.
Yeah, they got handed. Yeah, no, I mean both quarterbacks are just desperately trying to give the ball back to their team all night. I mean, they go to the Chiefs, they go to the Cowboys, Texans at home, at Broncos. That's how the Chargers
a tough way
finish.
to close.
So, I mean, good for them to win last night. It keeps them alive, but I don't think they're going to end up in the postseason.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. More of your thoughts to get to on the Titans. We will do that coming up next. Scott Ramsey will be with us at 7 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. We'll have Scott Ramsey coming up, president and CEO of the Nashville Sports Council and of the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Tennessee taking on Illinois in the Music City Bowl. We'll get into that matchup with him. Looking forward to that. Taking your thoughts in the meantime, 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Joe, one texter, has thrown this out there. Hypothetically, based off of this year, would you want the Titans to trade multiple first-rounders and Cam Ward for Patrick Mahomes? Have the Chiefs given up on Mahomes this year? Titans can strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, sure. Get in there, man. Absolutely. I'm sure they're willing to give him
Borgonzi, they've fallen apart. There's a
better idea.
He's got a better idea of, maybe the value that Mahomes could have there.
There you go. I mean, maybe Mahomes knows that Borgonzi was the key to all their success all these years, and he just wants to reunite with him.
They're 6-7 without Mike Borgonzi. Those are what the numbers say. That's what the math is.
And look at the record with him. Just saying.
I know. Yeah. Good stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. I am very interested in all serious, though. Like, how quickly can Kansas City rebound? Because Corey brought this up yesterday with us. Like, they have been on a run where they have drafted relatively poorly at the skill positions to help him, right? Like, I mean, for so long, it was him and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and then obviously Hill was gone, and it was him and Kelce, and they got basically just spot contributions from everybody else. Rashee Rice is a good player when he's on the field, but their offense, like, they just – I don't know. It's been a couple years now, Joe, and I know they got to the Super Bowl last year, but it's been a couple years where their offense hasn't really been all that dangerous when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been relying on their defense, and then that has started to leak oil this year. And the pass rush hasn't been very good. Chris Jones was actually good the other night, but like it's a lot of things have just regressed for them. So. I mentioned earlier the stat about Brady, 9 years without winning it, but most of those years they were still really good. They were in there. They were a playoff team most of those years, and they were knocking on the door. And I think the same thing will be. I think they're going to have to, like you said, skill position for sure. They've been trying to address the offensive line. Then Wanya Morris gets hurt the other night in the first play of the game. It's not like they have nothing. They still have some good players on defense. I mean, to me, it's like you have to get a difference-making skill guy, and that could be, probably a receiver, but even like, they've been going with Kareem Hunt here, and I know you don't think about running backs being that important, but if you have a threat there, that can – the Mahomes would – he would make use of that. And someone who can catch the ball in the backfield and things like that. So, I mean, I feel like Kelsey's probably retiring. What would be my guess?
Did he not say that already?
I don't think he's officially said it. I think it's what everybody suggested it. But I do wonder, like, if they miss the playoffs, is he going to just go out like that? Like, he's not the same player he used to be, obviously. I mean, he still does have 60 catches for 727 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. Like, it's not like he's just turned into some ghost out there on the field.
Yeah, he's just not clearly one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends like he was forever. Yeah, he's still good. I'm sure the Chiefs would be happy to keep going there with him. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I know last year is like there's no way I'm going out, losing this Super Bowl. But boy, that sounds a lot better than what's happened to them right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now we mentioned from a Titans perspective. I mean, Mahomes isn't going anywhere. They're going to be a factor in the AFC. But we went through the standings earlier. Like, I guess the thing that stands out the most is, those 3 quarterbacks, and really, I guess 4 when you want to talk about them all, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, and Mahomes. We know how good they are, and they're not going anywhere. But now you're looking around at some of the younger guys, and it's like, okay, well, Drake May in the AFC, you're going to have to deal with for a while here. I mean, I still don't know how good Bo Nix is, but Bo Nix has done a whole lot of winning since he's been the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. So, I mean, it is what it is. They win a lot of games. So you gotta deal with that right now. And that's, I think people were burying C.J. Stroud earlier in the year, and all of a sudden they've come back and they're 8-5. And I know that he's been hurt through part of it, and the biggest reason that Houston is 8-5 by far is their defense. I mean, they've got the best defense in the NFL. But I'm just saying, like, you got a lot of these guys that even beyond the normal names at quarterback that you're going to have to deal with if you're the Titans and Cam Ward moving forward here.
Yeah. I fully expect, and hey, if he proves me wrong, great. I fully expect like Bo Nix to have like a bad playoff game and them to lose that game. But I've been a complete Bo Nix doubter like all along, and he keeps proving me wrong. But they're a very good team, without question.
And it'll probably be a home game, right? So
probably,
yeah.
At this point, I don't even know what the New England Denver tiebreaker. I mean, I guess what conference record is that?
Win percentage in conference games. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So I don't even know who that would be. But again,
right now it's Denver.
Right now Denver is a team. Yeah. So, but to your point, yeah. There's always going to be good, quarterbacks. But it doesn't look as daunting right now, right? I mean, even going into this year, it's like everybody else around the AFC be like, gosh, how many more years of, Mahomes, Allen, and Jackson do you have to worry about in this conference? And again, like those teams all look less, those teams all look less daunting, of course, than they did going into the year for sure.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And then you add the fact that Drake May win MVP this year, and it's like, oh, okay, so they just added another one to the
yeah. I mean, that's where, and I just again hating on Bo Nix, but like Drake May to me, he legitimately could be a long time
he's going to be a
quarterback in this league. Bo Nix, I keep proving me wrong, man. The guy makes plays. The guy several times this year, even in games that were ugly, makes big plays in the fourth quarter.
You think there's a bigger combo hater on the earth of Tom Brady and Bo Nix than Rexrode?
Yeah, I don't even really.
Let's put those two in the same conversation for a minute.
Probably not.
Well, I don't think that Bo Nix is one of the best quarterbacks in AFC West history. While Brady is certainly in AFC East history. So I mean, there's still a pretty
maybe even
difference.
NFC South history too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's pretty good. Matt Ryan won MVP.
That's true.
No, but I mean,
Drew
how
Brees,
many people agree with
not
me?
Bad.
Drew Brees is okay. He was all right. Not announcing. Brady and Brees should go do a podcast and not make us listen to their announcing, and then we'd all be better for it. But no, how many people think Bo Nix is great / going to be a great quarterback for a long time in the NFL?
It's
I don't want to compare this to Tebow, because remember Tebow,
yeah.
he won a playoff game and stuff like that with Denver, but obviously it's just like, yeah, I just don't see
Well,
it.
We're going right to Tebow.
Huh?
Well, Bo Nix,
it's the Broncos.
Tim Tebow.
It's the Broncos thing. Yeah.
Oh boy,
who was the guy who went to the Texans?
Osweiler.
Oh God,
yeah.
There you go. They've had some real gems.
Paxton Lynch.
Oh yeah,
throw him in there.
There's a lot of stuff going on out there.
Memphis legend.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Scott Ramsey from the Nashville Sports Council will join us coming up next. We'll get into the matchup with the Music City Bowl coming up here in a few weeks. Tennessee taking on Illinois. That is next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We are taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll have the Rob rant coming up later this hour. Diego Pavia, a Heisman Trophy finalist. We will get into that coming up here in a few minutes as well. So taking your thoughts on all that at 615-737-1025. Hoping to be joined by Scott Ramsey here in just a few minutes. By the way, the Music City Bowl coming up. You've got Tennessee and Illinois. But Tennessee just made a move and fired their defensive coordinator. So we will get into that a little bit later in the program as well. But the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl coming up on December the 30th at 4:30 at Nissan Stadium. You'll have Tennessee taking on Illinois. You can buy your tickets at musiccitybowl.com. So big matchup. I think I've been to every single Music City Bowl that Tennessee's played in. The crowd is always great. And to help us talk more about that, we welcome in our friend Scott Ramsey to the program on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Scott Ramsey, president and CEO of the Nashville Sports Council and of the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Scott, good morning. How we doing?
Hey, good morning, Robby. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. So, Scott, let's just start first on the Tennessee front, because obviously that's a team that, as you know, travels very well. Every time they've come here to our city, the stadium has been full. I think I've been at every game that they've played here. So when you saw that Tennessee was going to be available, what was your reaction? What does having Tennessee here in this game kind of do for you guys, do for the city?
Well, it's always positive, Robby, as you know. I think I just always kind of go back to the core reasons of why we started the bowl game in the late 90s when we built the stadium. And that, one, how can we bring a lot of people and expose our city from a tourism standpoint and fill our hotels and fill the stadium for a great environment for the players. Secondly, how can we kind of showcase the city on our national broadcast, which we've got an unbelievably great time slot this year to really increase viewership with the 4:30 start, 5:30 Eastern. So, Tennessee checks both of those boxes for us, and their fan base is so local as well. It kind of gives you that extra kind of push in the stadium, which in today's world, it's really tough if you've got two very distant travel bases really to kind of push that attendance up. So the balance of people coming in from Tennessee, they're staying and enjoying our city, and the people local really make a nice mix. It's not something I think you choose to do every year, quote unquote, if you talk to other cities that have, teams that are very kind of local or regional. But occasionally it's the right fit. And we felt this year was it, a chance to play Illinois that they've never played in the history of the university. Illinois drivable fan base as well. So we felt like we had a lot of the same combinations, Robby, we had for the Tennessee-Purdue game a few years ago, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Scott, and we actually have a question on the Illinois side of things, which I don't think this would be a factor because the basketball game was Saturday, but they had a tremendous showing. I mean, I was at the game Saturday, and it was almost 50-50 in there with the Illinois fans, which I don't know if that's because it's drivable or because, we have obviously a lot of people who move here from all over the place. But I guess, did you notice that? And do you expect a really big showing from Illinois fans?
Yeah, I do, Joe. We had a couple great conversations last week with their leadership, and certainly Josh is just a really very well-respected athletic director, and they've really kind of grown not only the football attendance, but just their engagement across all sports. I think you mentioned we saw that, for the basketball game. And the other thing is Illinois is on an uptick. I mean, the last 2 or 3 years, they've had some really, really great seasons. Last year down the Citrus Bowl playing South Carolina. Brett Bielema is really familiar with Nashville from his Arkansas days. And I just think they're going to really have a lot of Illini fans here. And, when we kind of look at it, we kind of know where we sit geographically, and we've really kind of been able to be successful with that drive market or that short day trip kind of market. And when you look at their big alumni bases in St. Louis and Chicago, those are two markets that traditionally come to Nashville for everything pretty well. and they're populated with a lot of Illinois alums. So, yeah, we really expect them to have a great showing here. Again, I kind of reference really the Purdue, same kind of model where they had a drivable fan base and really brought a lot of folks here. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. Their leadership is excited about it and very positive. And first time to come to Nashville to play Tennessee.
So, Scott, you've been with us before, and you've never been shy about the goals and the type of events that Nashville wants and is aiming for with the new stadium. I mean, every time I drive downtown, you could see the progress that's being made on the stadium there. So, I guess as we sit here and the stadium's being worked on, and it's not going to be that long before it's complete, where do we kind of stand on all of the things that we've talked about with you, from just in terms of maybe the college football playoff coming here, the future of what the bowl games are going to look like as the playoff continues to evolve and expand on seemingly a month-by-month basis? Like, what do you make of kind of where things all stand there with the stadium well underway and in progress at this point?
Well, I'm glad, Robby, you just didn't say how's the state of college football, because I'm not sure we could sit here till next Christmas probably talking about that one. But, there's a lot of things that are obviously disrupted right now in postseason college football, and a real transition. I guess the best way to describe it from my seat is think about when we signed the agreement with SEC, Big Ten, and ESPN in 2019. We did a 6-year agreement, as did most all bowls in the country. Since then, in this 6-year contract period, we've had COVID. We've had the dissolution of the Pac-12 and the expansion of conferences. We've had the addition of the transfer portal. We've gone from a 4-team playoff when we signed the deal to a 12-team playoff in the middle of the contract. And so just a lot of disruption. And, I think as we look forward, there's some big decisions that the commissioners have to make on what is the holistic view of postseason college football. And then I think from Nashville's perspective, we're going to be ready to be aggressive and pursue the best opportunity we think for our city, whether that's a traditional bowl game, whether that's a change in the bowl system, whether it's opportunity for the national championship game, which we're certainly going to pursue down the road, or it's another kind of opportunity that we don't know of yet that they will create. But I really like where our city is. We're going to have a world-class facility with a roof on it, which will eliminate any weather issues in the Mid-South. We've got a downtown environment that is, I think, the best in the country for events when you can walk everywhere. And our hotel and our hospitality industry second to none with the music component. So I like where we are going forward. I can't kind of lay out because really don't know what those opportunities are going to be afforded us yet. But I certainly think when you look at Super Bowl, men's Final Four, college football national championship game, those are certainly opportunities that we intend to pursue pretty aggressively as a city. And I'm pretty confident that we'll have the opportunity in some time down the line. Now, I think also you got to look at the sequencing of when those are going to be available in the bid cycles of things like the Final Four and everything. So, we're excited about the future. Obviously, like everybody else, a little uneasy about kind of postseason because it just seems like there's a lot of decisions to be made in the first quarter of next year that's going to impact how that's structured.
Yeah, and of course, a lot made this week, Scott, of Notre Dame, not opting out of the bowl, but also you got the Big 12 schools and the Big 12 fined them, I think $500,000 apiece. When you see all this happening, what do you think of all that? And I guess is it especially concerning just to see more teams doing this?
It is, Joe. But again, as I referenced, 3 years ago or 4 years ago we had a 4-team playoff, and think of the bowl system this year without the basically free agency and a 4-team playoff, where you've got basically 7 teams or 6 teams in the SEC alone with 9 or 10 wins, and you'd have pulled in the Oregons and the USCs and everybody for the Big Ten, matchup. So you'd had some unbelievable matchups. So I just think it's disrupted right now on a lot of fronts. The timing of the portals, the timing of the coaching changes, the structure of how the 12 teams have been decided when they did that 3 years ago. And then I think, again, the conferences are going to have to sit down and decide, what do we want postseason to look like? And I think that's a decision they're going to have to make internally in that room with their athletic directors and presidents. But again, from Nashville's perspective, I'm disappointed, Joe, because of the industry that I think has served college football in such a unique way. I think Robby knows us. We just work hard to kind of showcase our city and really make sure it's a great, experience for the fans and the players that come here for every event, whether it's the basketball tournament, the marathon, our new volleyball event, or, in a few weeks, the FCS National Championship game we're hosting at Vanderbilt. So from our standpoint, I feel like we're in good position to be a great site for whatever is going to be decided structure-wise. But yeah, you're concerned about something you put a lot of work into that is really feeling very disrupted at the moment.
Got the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl coming up between Tennessee and Illinois on December the 30th at 4:30. Great start time there. As Scott mentioned, you can get your tickets at musiccitybowl.com. Scott, you're always very kind with your time. We appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. Hope you and the family are doing great. Have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, Robby, one thing before I go, I really want to say thanks to Liberty Mutual. There's a Fortune 100 company that chose to invest in Nashville, and in this time that we just talked about, a very disruptive postseason. And I think that's another positive sign about our city being a great destination for whatever happens when you have a company like that that's willing to invest in the event. So I appreciate the time. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you, and appreciate all you do for us.
Absolutely. Scott Ramsey, our
Thanks,
guest
Scott.
here on the program, president and CEO of the Nashville Sports Council, president and CEO of the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. And again, interesting matchup, Tennessee taking on Illinois. As he mentioned, those two teams have not played each other before, and it's always a fun environment at the Music City Bowl, particularly when the Vols are in town. The stadium is packed, so going to be interesting to see what that matchup looks like. Speaking of the Vols, we will get into a move that they made a little bit later in the program at defensive coordinator. Coming up next, we'll continue the discussion on college football. What is the latest on the odds for the Heisman Trophy for Diego Pavia? We will get into all that. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. Appreciate Scott Ramsey for being with us in the last segment there. If you want to go to Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, we got some tickets. A pair of tickets to give away for the game coming up at Nissan Stadium on Tuesday, December the 30th. Tennessee taking on Illinois. To caller 5, 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. Caller 5 will win a pair of tickets to the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl coming up on December the 30th. Let's welcome in Nate to the program on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Nate, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Morning, guys. I don't know if I heard this on y'all's show yesterday or a different show I had listened to, but they had talked about players that, I guess the higher profile players for college teams that make the bowl game and play the bowl game, they get bonuses, I guess like NFL incentives. Could that, how big a factor do you think that is to some of these teams like Notre Dame opting out of the bowl game? Because, I mean, I would think the incentives wouldn't be that cheap. So how big of a factor do y'all think that was?
Thanks for calling, Nate. I mean, I don't know about like the specific incentives that are out there attached to bowl games with players. I mean, look, with NIL, I'm sure that some things exist out there, but I would not imagine that that is a big factor in the Notre Dame decision. Like Notre Dame specifically, they clearly feel like they have a beef with the NCAA. Clearly, Notre Dame's athletic director has beef with the ACC. He was very clear about that yesterday, and they're doing that out of spite. They don't want to put their product on TV. That's why they're doing it. They're doing it out of spite.
Yeah. Yeah. On the question, there has been some talk of that. You know, think about basketball. They got the Players Era Festival, which has kind of become the big thing in Vegas, and it's like you're playing for money. You're playing for the winner. I think it's $2 million to spread around the team, or at least $1 million, $1 or $2 million to then for the players to share. So like things like that. I mean, I think you could see some of that, but you have team contracts too, where it may be like if you're healthy, this means you have to participate in the games, stuff like that. There's that. I think with every team now, it's kind of like if you have guys who are locks to be high picks, you don't expect them to play. Like there was some talk about Pavia. I know we're going to get into him here, but there was some talk about like, is Pavia going to, play in the bowl game? And it's like, guys, he's not like a first or second round pick. I mean, I think he absolutely, it behooves him to play and to do whatever he can do, if he gets a Senior Bowl invite or whatever it is. So, it's to me, it's mostly guys who know that they're going to be high picks. And the Notre Dame thing, like you said, Robby, nothing to do with it. The Front Office Sports did a piece, which I hadn't really thought about this angle, but, their AD Pete Bevacqua, he was previously an NBC executive. Like this is an ESPN thing with them too, which is in their mind, ESPN used them as a drama piece for their show all those weeks, keeping them ahead of Miami, and then they flip-flop, pull the rug out from under them, and now of course, ESPN would love to anchor their bowl coverage with a big, like a Notre Dame BYU, game where these teams barely just got left out, and here they're going to play. So I get this. That's all about that. Which again, I understand it, but like you said yesterday, I'd like to hear from all the Notre Dame players who all of a sudden not only do they get the playoff news Sunday, but then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, your career's over. Bye, thanks.
Yeah, see you later.
I'd like to know what the team vote would have been. I don't think it would have been 100%. I don't think it would have been close to 100%.
So on the Heisman Trophy, Joe, we saw Fernando Mendoza take down Ohio State on Saturday in the Big Ten title game. Indiana captures a massive win for their program. They're the number 1 seed now in the college football playoff, and that did affect the odds on the Heisman Trophy. BetMGM, according to them, he is now a minus 5,000 favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Pavia is second at plus 1,500, and then I think it goes Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Love are right after that. So, Joe, it feels like that with the game on Saturday, Mendoza is going to have a lot of momentum when it comes to the Heisman Trophy. What do you make of where things kind of stand there? The fact that Mendoza and Indiana actually won the game against Ohio State. How does that factor into all this? And is Diego Pavia basically expected to finish in second place at this point?
I think that would be my expectation. You don't know for sure. I mean, you're talking about 800 whatever voters. You don't know for sure how people are going to vote. In fact, as we do this now, I meant to have our staff, because remember last week it was 56-52 Mendoza with the slight edge over Pavia, and then no one else close to them. So I will find that, but it's hard when you're competing with someone who gets to play on that platform, and you got Gus Johnson like, give him the Heisman, he's screaming into the microphone. I mean, it's hard to compete with that when you aren't playing on that weekend. And again, I just think that the worst, as of halftime, Vegas Pavia had become the clear favorite. The odds had gone to Pavia because it was perfect. It was like both offenses were doing nothing. Both quarterbacks had thrown an interception.
Yep.
And it was perfect for him to sort of emerge. I mean, look, I still think he should win it, but Mendoza makes some big time throws really to win that game. The touchdown and then the conversion late was a big time throw. And I mean, I know that's just a couple throws, but when there is an instinct to basically who's the best team and who is their quarterback good, and people will go that route. The worst example of that is Jason White winning it when he was Oklahoma's quarterback and they were the best team, and it was
he was 48 years old playing too. It was amazing.
Horrific, man. And this isn't horrific. I mean, I think Fernando Mendoza, I think it should be those two. Those two should be the top two to me. And I'd put Jeremiah Love right there. But yeah, at this point, it'll be a pleasant surprise. Okay, so here we go. It'll be a pleasant surprise if Pavia wins. So 56-52. So this week, okay, it's 64 Mendoza, 61 Pavia. It's 14 first place. This is the athletic staff poll. 14 first for Mendoza, 11 first for Pavia, 14 seconds for Pavia, 10 seconds for Mendoza. Very, very close.
Yep.
I mean, I could see it. It's there's so many things you don't know. Like, does the Vanderbilt thing help Pavia? I mean, the SEC thing, I feel like for voters in other regions, I think that hurts players on SEC teams sometimes. There's just a lot of hatred for the SEC outside of the SEC, but it's Vanderbilt. So which one of those wins out for the vote, for the voter who doesn't really have a strong feeling on it either way? I don't know.
Look, I don't have a Heisman vote, so I could say this. I'm also a Tennessee fan. Pavia would be my Heisman Trophy winner. If I was voting on this, he would be the one that wins. And I don't think that's because I live in Nashville. I think when you watch him play, the numbers that he put up and how important he is to what his team accomplished, I don't think that there was a better player in college football this year. So I'm interested to see how the vote shakes out.
No, I agree. Texter asked if I'm a voter. I am a voter. I'm not allowed to give my vote. I have submitted my ballot, which I think was due. Yes, I submitted my ballot Sunday night. But I'm with you. I think he's the best player in college football this year. And look, Mendoza, JC Goodlettsville's like, oh yeah, great, 222 yards passing and 1 TD, quote unquote Heisman moment. I hear you, but they played Ohio State too, right? So, like, beating Ohio State, which I did not think they were going to do, beating what I think is the best defense in college football. It was a grinder of a game, but he did make throws that were significant. If it's close, like it is this year, that can swing people. That can be the difference. So it's just how it goes. But look, I mean, I will tell you, Robby, I expected to see some separation in the staff voting.
Yeah,
and there's less separation. So that's interesting. And we have voters. The people, I think we have like 26, 27 people who take part in this, and all over the country. And I think almost all of us are voters. So I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's at least there's enough drama and uncertainty that I wouldn't like bet my house on Mendoza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like some years you just know who's winning it. I think it will be him in a close vote, but I mean, there's hundreds of voters out there that like just and look, there's hundreds of voters who vote for the Heisman who shouldn't vote for the Heisman or
Yes.
vote for anything based on some things that happen. But there's enough uncertainty to have some drama Saturday.
615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on Diego Pavia and the Heisman Trophy. What do you make of his chances heading into the Heisman Trophy weekend? We'll take your thoughts on that. Plus, if it doesn't shake out that way for Pavia, how excited are Vanderbilt fans about the season that just took place? And how much are you sitting there saying, man, we just got totally screwed? We'll get into all that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
And that includes with your quarterback, Diego Pavia. I had him on SportsCenter with me last week. What has he meant to the resurrection of what you were building there at Vanderbilt?
Well, I don't know that we have time. He's been everything. I mean, and I think it starts with his the humility in his process, his curiosity day in, day out, just in search of higher levels of performance as a person, as a player. The quiet connections he builds with teammates that really lead to inspirational moments on the field. And then you get to the statistical season he's had, the impact he's had in games, the way he takes games over at the quarterback position. There is no one that can improvise like him right now in our game. There's no one that can create like him right now in our game. I would encourage everyone to tune into our bowl game. I mean, this guy is really special, one of one. I'm hoping that obviously we get the invitation to New York. I'm hoping that he wins the award because he deserves it. This is the best player in college football. But what's best about him is he's one of the great people in college football. This guy cares about his teammates, cares about the families connected to this program, and that's really where he's done his most important work, is establishing player-led leadership in our locker room and really pulling people in from our community into this program and making them feel a part of it.
That's Clark Lee on ESPN discussing Diego Pavia and the Heisman Trophy. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe, we'll see how the Heisman Trophy vote plays out. I think he's at least got a shot. I would expect Mendoza to win, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Hope that Diego Pavia wins it coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, and I was short on it. It's 930 voters, by the way, so it's a lot of voters. Texter was asking about what the ballot. Do they give you stats? They don't give you anything. I mean, that's on us to pay attention and look at what basically the ballot is. Just they don't even list names. They who's your number one, who's your number two, who's your number three, name and school, and then again 3 points for first place, 2 for second, and 1 for third, and that's it. So everybody has 3 people that they vote for. So this year, enough. There's always, I think they always at least take 3 to New York. When I was younger, I mean, most of my life, there were 5 people who would go. And and it's based on votes now, but I also feel like maybe they just cut it off a little bit more often to not pay for people to come out.
Just take the 5. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah,
all the money flowing
I
around this
agree.
sport, just take the 5 to New York.
I agree. I'm glad it's at least 4 this year. Love and Sayin also gets to go. I mean, I expect him to be 4th. I would expect him to be 4th place of the 4. I hope Love is ahead of him. He should be.
Yep.
But I could make the case for Love to be 2nd too. But again, Mendoza, I think he's going to win. I'd love to be wrong. I don't know, man. This is a small sample size, our athletic poll, but it does give me a little bit of pause on just this, that everybody was swayed by that game, Yeah. I mean, again, some people will have been, there's no doubt, but how many? I don't know. And it was Pavia, the guy who was going to win it before that game happened. Someone, JC saying it's unfair, it shouldn't count. Again, man, all these games count. Unless in college football, all this stuff that happens counts. Even losing in a conference title game, it counts. It has to count. There's a winner and a loser of every game, and of course it's going to count for a player or against a player.
Well, by the way,
Vanderbilt
could have made their conference championship. They would have counted for them too.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana won all its games, and yes, they smashed a lot of bad teams because that's what happens in the Big Ten. Because there aren't that many good teams in the Big Ten. But bottom line is, they also went out to Oregon and they won that game. They just beat Ohio State. I mean, you got to give them all the credit for getting it done, man.
So it's going to be interesting to see the way it plays out. If Mendoza wins, if you're a Vanderbilt fan and you think back a couple of weeks, it's well, if you can just go into Tennessee and win, can you give yourself a chance to make the college football playoff? Diego Pavia, could he win the Heisman Trophy? All that was still on the table. Obviously, they're not in the college football playoff. We'll see about Pavia, but let's say it plays out that way and Mendoza ends up winning the Heisman Trophy. On the one hand, you look at it and you're like, well, this is still clearly the best season in the history of Vanderbilt football, and they've got a bowl game coming up against Iowa, and I think they're going to beat Iowa. and they could very well end up 11-2 at the end of the year. So there's clear reason to be excited about that if you're a Vanderbilt fan. On the other hand, it's like, well, we just had this magical year, and then we really didn't even get considered all that much for the college football playoff when it came down to it at the end of the rankings. And our quarterback that we thought had a pretty good shot of winning the Heisman Trophy ended up finishing second on Saturday. Let's say it plays out that way. How do you view that if you're a Vanderbilt fan? You've got, on one hand, overwhelming success, and on the other hand, based on where this thing was a couple of weeks ago, Joe, disappointment that it played out the way that it did on not making the playoff. And maybe we'll see Pavia finishing in second in the Heisman race.
Yeah, I think it's all about perspective, right? The longtime Vanderbilt fan, I guess I would hope, would be able to be like, yeah, just came up short and some insane stuff that you never would have thought possible. But again, a Vanderbilt team has never won 10 games and still could win 11. You flipped the number one recruit in the country from Georgia, et cetera. So you have like you walk in that stadium now and like it has a totally different feel. Walk around that campus as things are being built. You can take it beyond football, take it to the basketball stuff they're building and the way those programs are going. So if you have that perspective, then I think for the most part you have to be, again, you're in the golden years right now. Also, though, I mean, I get okay, is this going to happen again? Pavia's leaving. Like, was this our chance? To be in that tournament. Was this it? I mean, that's the question, right? Moving forward, like, how are they going to build on this? And we don't know. But yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the Vanderbilt fan being, feeling like, oh my God, how, disrespected because it's the name is Vanderbilt. And I think there is some of that. I think if you want to blame the committee for something, I think some of the people on that committee had a hard time wrapping their heads around Vanderbilt being this good. I mean, again, teams that lost to Vanderbilt this year plummeted in like the AP poll, and so I think there's still a stigma attached to that. But also, like, did they really get screwed? I mean, I could make a case for them to be in, but you can make a case for all the teams that are right on the fringe to be in. I don't necessarily think that they got it wrong with Notre Dame out. I guess the team you'd take out would be Bama for Vanderbilt, but Bama beat them. So you also have to keep that in mind too.
One texter says this season overall felt like a dream. Would have been nice to be in the college football playoff, but like Clark Lee said, they didn't get screwed. They just needed to handle their business in the 2 games they lost. Whether Pavia wins the Heisman or not, there's more to be excited about than there is to pout about. By the way, especially in the wake of how Notre Dame has handled all this, shout out to Clark Lee for the way that he's handled it.
Yes, no, good for him for coming out and just saying, hey, got it, because he's right. He's right. Of course, you're going to make the case, and he did, and they did, and they won all out. And but good for him for handling it the way he did. Texter also says it's ironic first word he used about Pavia is humble. Pavia is obviously he's a trash talker, okay? And he made the case for himself when he was asked, should you win the Heisman? Yes. And some players would be like, well, I just might want to, thank my teammates. And then Pavia's like, yeah, I should win it. So some people have this idea of this incredibly cocky player. I think that I think he's a leader. And yes, a trash talker and a everybody doubted me guy, right? And who actually can say that, unlike say like Kirby Smart, who tries to keep saying no one believed in our team, no one ever. But I think there are some people who have a little bit of a wrong impression of Pavia. Some of them may be Vols fans. I feel like Vols fans really, really dislike Pavia.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Will on our phone line is waiting patiently. Let's head to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Will, welcome into the show.
Hey, I just wanted y'all's thoughts on this. If Pavia does not win the Heisman, how does that change the upcoming year for Vanderbilt? Like, do you think that's a good thing? It puts a chip on their shoulder, or you think they just feel mistreated? I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Will. Joe, what do you think?
I mean, here's the thing. The playoff thing is one thing, and again, it was just really bad luck. for them this year that the field shook out like this. In a lot of years, this Vanderbilt team gets in. And in a lot of years, at South Carolina, LSU, all these teams aren't going to plummet the way they did. But I think if you have a player, if you're Vanderbilt, you have a player who finishes second narrowly in the Heisman, I don't think that's a disrespect thing, is it? I mean, that's pretty amazing. Like if you have a Heisman finalist, is that not already amazing for Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
I would say it is. I mean, I know, again, it'll stink if he comes up just short, but I think this one is definitely this is a tremendous program commercial for Vanderbilt right now going on, and that will happen Saturday night in New York.
Caleb on the text line says, are we going to have to hear the whining even more if Pavia doesn't win? Tough look to do the pose 10 times this year and not win the Heisman Trophy. Oh, the Vols fans are coming out.
There we go. I'm just assuming Caleb's a Vols fan.
Oh, Caleb's a Vols fan.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I saw that Stilly said this, and I will here's a rare agreeing with Stilly moment. If he was a Tennessee Vol, you guys would absolutely love him and everything that he does and says.
That's true.
Do not tell me otherwise.
That is true.
I've
615.
seen some Vol Twitter try to argue against that, which is just comical.
Do they remember the 2022 baseball team? 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll have the Rob Rant coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
Pittsburgh, let's weld.
I hate you, Josh Heupel. 80%. 80% go SAC.
Well, at least he didn't say he hated his father.
Hey, Dad, shut up, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Like
How do you know that I pee my pants that often?
I would let them pee around the field.
If my zipper's up, I feel like I'm in style.
Run face first into a tree. It is time for the Rob Rant here on the program. It's special hearing that song this week. Good stuff. At least they tried. We will get into some more Phillip Rivers news a little bit later in the show. Apparently, the workout took place last night, Joe Rexrode, and he threw the ball well. So we will get back into that a little bit later in the program. I want to speak today to Tennessee Athletic Director Danny White, and this is just some friendly advice that I've got for him. Joe, let me start by saying this. I have no problem. Matter of fact, I encourage an athletic director that wants to see all of his programs do well, whether that's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, that's the name of the job. You should want to see your programs do very well. I also live in reality and know that most of these athletic directors realize that, football is what drives the bus in most places. There are some exceptions to that where maybe it's men's basketball, maybe it's women's basketball, whatever it is, but football is primarily what drives the bus in these athletic departments. It's where the money comes from. It's what generates the most money, the most interest, all those things. And Danny White has made it a habit over the last few years to really lean into the everything school stuff, right? Quote unquote, everything. Tennessee's an everything school. And we've talked about that. They basically have been, right? Like they've had some good success under Josh Heupel as football program. I mean, you're talking about some, Elite Eight runs in the basketball program on the men's side of things. Looks like Kim Caldwell is going to end up being a good hire on the women's side of things. The baseball team won a national championship. So there's been a lot to be proud of if you're a Tennessee fan in terms of what the athletic department has done over the last few years. So I get all that. I want to make sure that is clear as we start this conversation. I get all those things. I also recognize that, they're signing a new deal with Adidas and that they've gone and imposed this talent fee, and fans at this point are paying out the wazoo to get into Neyland Stadium and watch this team play football, Joe. And Tennessee's not alone in that. It's not like they're the only program doing it, but they are. They're doing this. And they were just repaid with an 8-4 season, and the last taste they have in their mouth is their in-state rival totally crushing them on their home field, missing out on the college football playoff, and they're headed to the Music City Bowl here. So I saw Danny White at the end of last week start talking about the everything school stuff again. And boy, did he just get ripped on Vol Twitter. I mean, it was open season on Danny White from Tennessee fans. I mean, the timing of it wasn't great. The basketball team and just lost to Syracuse. By the way, the basketball team lost again on Saturday night. You have Tennessee on the football side of things coming off getting destroyed by Vanderbilt, and Danny White is right in the crosshair of Vol Twitter right now. So my advice to Danny White right now, Joe, is this. I have no problem with you as an athletic director doing what you do and wanting all your programs to be successful. I think right now, with where the temperature is right now, with the aftermath of the football season that just took place and how important we know it is for Heupel and the football program to get back in the college football playoff next year, all those things going on, I'd probably dial it back for a little while on the everything school stuff, because that is not going to go over well with your fan base. And look, Tennessee fans cared a lot about baseball when they won the national championship. We'll see what it looks like at Post Vitello. Obviously, Tennessee fans get wrapped up in men's and women's basketball when it's time for the tournament and all those things, and everything's going well. And look, they sell out their arena, all those things. So there are plenty of Tennessee fans that care about all the sports at Tennessee. By far, I think there are still way more Tennessee fans that would choose football over everything else, and it's not close. And I think you need to remember that if you're the athletic director, and not set yourself up to just get totally ripped by your fan base. So, Joe, that's my message to Danny White. Maybe chill a little bit on the everything school stuff.
Yeah, he probably should just chill on saying anything publicly right now.
Probably so.
Right? Yeah, and typically he's capable for sure of going stretches without saying much publicly. But yeah, people don't want to hear that right now for sure. If football falters, it's not even close. And I mean, at some schools it may be, like at North Carolina, they're probably like, yeah, okay, this Belichick thing sucks. But anyway, Caleb Foster had 23 and 15 last night, and not Caleb Foster, Caleb. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my Caleb's mixed up. But you know what I'm saying. Some schools care more about other sports or whatever. It's never going to be close at Tennessee. And when it comes down to it, if football doesn't get fixed, people are going to go back to, well, you're the one who brought in Heupel. I mean, I don't think anybody right now could reasonably say it wasn't a good hire.
Yeah.
It's way better hire than some radio programs may have thought at the time it was made.
Who could that be?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Did we do a show that day? I don't think so.
But,
Josh Heupel, who in the heck is that?
Oh gosh, yeah.
They could have hired Gus Malzahn.
I know. I was pushing for him and also for Tom, the Indiana coach, because no one could ever do better than what he did at Indiana. I mean,
yeah, real good stuff from us on that day. My goodness.
Yeah, but no, I'm with you. I think some of it is a raw deal for Danny. Like people mad at him that Vitale left. Like for example, that's stupid.
Yeah,
he went to manage the San Francisco Giants. Like Danny
Got to have
White
some
was
realism in that conversation.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Danny White also is. He's just a guy, and the talent fee is part of it. But I just also think like he's a guy who, like, people can easily dislike.
Yeah,
I think maybe sometimes people who work for him can easily feel that way too. I mean, he's tough. Overall, he's done the job that you want, but. Yeah, certainly in terms of like financially with the department and all that stuff. But again, what matters the most? Are you winning in football?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon on the YouTube chat says, I wouldn't care if Tennessee was winless in every other sport if it meant that they'd win a football national championship. And I don't know how to break it down by percentage, but I think a lot of Tennessee fans agree with that statement. I mean, you're talking to one that agrees with that statement. So I just think that there's some I would not choose now when the football team just got embarrassed at home by Vanderbilt to be really leaning into the everything school stuff if you're Danny White. I just don't think that's very wise.
Yeah, of course he did. It's too late now.
It's true.
Just don't do it anymore, Danny.
Yeah, just don't do it again. Boy, were they mad. I saw some very nasty things being said to Danny White on Twitter. I was like, God, I hope he's not looking at his mentions right now.
At least they were distracted from ripping Pavia.
Oh, man. 615-737-1025. Our phone number. Speaking of Tennessee, they have fired their defensive coordinator. What does that move signal to us about Josh Heupel and what else could be coming for Tennessee this offseason? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Tuesday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Joe, the Tennessee Volunteers make a move with their coaching staff yesterday. Tim Banks, defensive coordinator, fired by Josh Heupel. Now, we talked about that in the immediate aftermath of the Vanderbilt game, right? How Tennessee fans were looking for some changes. Josh Heupel said that he was going to evaluate everything, and they have now made the decision to move on from Tim Banks. Now, that move by itself, Joe, well received by Tennessee fans. We'll see who they end up hiring as their defensive coordinator. But, Joe, what do you make of, number one, the move to fire Tim Banks and the fact that Heupel actually did it? And what does that signal to you about maybe what the offseason could look like for Tennessee? What does the approach look like, not only to the coaching staff, but maybe the roster heading into next year? How do you view this decision from Josh Heupel to move on from Tim Banks?
Well, I think that most Tennessee fans like this just in terms of knowing that he's not just going to stand pat no matter what, right? And because there are coaches who I think go too far with the loyalty thing. There's also coaches who constantly are changing people out and basically sacrificing people to save themselves, you know. And I'm not saying that's what this is, but I think Tennessee fans like this in terms of, okay, there's some accountability. I mean, I also look at it and it's like, so last year, the defense carried Tennessee to the playoff. They were tremendous. Same coordinator, and a sort of a steady build to that 2024 defense, which was just really salty and a really excellent defense. And so now the guy's stupid all of a sudden. He doesn't, you know. But hey, look, they were bad this year, and the corners, or I do think were a big part of it, but they were bad. So, is this going to be a big, like, are they going to bring someone in and can whoever they bring in? I know there's a lot of smoke around Walters, the Washington D.C. Is he going to come in and are they going to have a defense better than last year's? Because that's actually a pretty high bar. Tim Banks' 2024 defense. Are they going to change their style significantly? I mean, there are some things with Tennessee's defense over the years that, you know, I haven't loved in terms of some of the zone stuff and sitting back on some things. Yes. I feel like, but I think last year with those corners, you saw more aggression because you could play that way. So, I get it. I don't know that it's going to be some magical fix.
The thing that I couldn't really get over with the defense this year, and I understand the corners were out, you know, getting beat in the passing game as much as they did. I mean, you can kind of, it's explainable, right? Like, you could live with that. I mean, the other part of this is, you know, half the season you were playing a guy out there that I had no idea if there was any interest in him actually playing or not, in Boo Carter. So there's that you got to factor in. And, you know, they switched him in and out, but when he was out there, it wasn't very good. But the thing I couldn't really get over with this year's Tennessee defense, and you can blame this, I guess, a little bit on the corners being out if you want, but they're horrible at stopping the run, just awful at it. And like they should not have been that bad against the run based on their personnel. Like, I would agree that the personnel was not as good as it was in 2024. And one of the strengths of the 2024 defense, I mean, heck, the strength of the 2024 defense is that they could roll about 3 deep on every one of the positions up front on the front four. I mean, they had multiple guys, and they were fresh the entire game, and they weren't that deep this year when it came to the defensive line and at edge rusher. So, and
they had injuries up there too.
Exactly.
I mean, beyond the corners, they were banged up front.
So, I mean, some of it, I guess, is explainable that way. But even then, like with guys they had in, they should not be giving up 300 yards on the ground to Arkansas and 300 yards on the ground to Vanderbilt. I know Pavia is a big part of it, but you can't just do that and expect that things are going to remain the same. So, ultimately, I think that's what it was. Like, I think they were so bad against the run this year. I think that's what cost him his job.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, Yeah, it's hard to understand, even with everything. That's just something you sort of expected. You certainly didn't expect it to go as badly as it did. I do give a little more grace on the Vanderbilt game just because, yeah, it's a really tough offense to deal with. But there was still some tackling stuff, that was bad in that game too. And I think linebacker play this year was also it just was pretty disappointing overall. Mike says Tim Banks didn't become a bad defense coordinator 1 year. Injuries killed the defense, but Mr. Clock Management was not going to fire himself. Tim Banks was the guy. Yeah, it's a thing. If you want to talk about like coaching, like mistakes or poor coaching, you probably point to some of the game management stuff Heupel did this year as bad as anything. But yeah, the head coach is definitely not firing himself.
No, he is not. Now, I think big picture, the fascinating question here beyond just the move at defensive coordinator is what does this signal about what the offseason could look like? Because we've talked about this, like on paper right now, Tennessee's got a pretty good team coming back. And then by the way, the recruiting went very well for them last week, like even better than expected. So you've got a really good recruiting class coming in. You've got some talented guys already on the roster that will be coming back. And we've talked about, quarterback. What does it mean? Like, how are you going to approach quarterback if you're Heupel? Are you going with one of the young guys? Like, if you're going with either a redshirt freshman in George McIntyre or a true freshman in Faison Brandon? Or do you go out and look in the portal and bring in an experienced guy at quarterback to take the reins and be the starter next year? I don't know. We'll see on that front. I'm interested to see what else could be coming here in terms of how aggressive is Tennessee going to be? I think that's the fundamental question. Like, how aggressive is Tennessee going to be in the offseason when it comes to the portal, their roster, who they're trying to retain, what they're doing at quarterback? I don't know that the Tim Banks move signals that either way, but I think it does show you, Joe, that they're not just going to try to roll it back next year.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's the thing. It's like some kind of indication that this wasn't acceptable and that you're trying to, you're looking for solutions. We'll see if if this ends up being a solution, but I get that fans wanted to see something and didn't want to just see everything just run back. And yeah, the portal is going to be really interesting. Do they do more in it this year? They have recruited well, and that's great. And that's what again, most of these programs here in this tournament right now, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are still built around excellent high school recruiting year after year with supplementing in the portal. Some of them are heavy portal. But I think Tennessee can do more. And yeah, like you talk about the quarterback thing, Sam Levitt, there's a guy who is going to be very heavily pursued coming out of Arizona State. And well, I was going to say he could do well in this offense. I think he could do well in a lot of offenses, but there'd be an example of, it's just like, I don't know. It's just hard I don't know, man. It's really interesting. Like, do you try to go big like that? Do you just try to get like a veteran who would be okay being your backup, possibly,
right,
or just to get into a competition, or do you just straight up go with the young guys?
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, Joe, it kind of feels like with quarterback, in terms of the starter, you're either going big with one of those, like a Levitt type guy, or you're rolling it with McIntyre or Brandon. Like I don't know that I see them going and getting like an Aguilar again. And no disrespect to Aguilar, but like Aguilar's he's not like a top guy that people are talking about maybe being a high NFL pick one day. Like to me, that's what you're doing if you're Tennessee. You're either going all in and trying to get one of those guys in the portal, or you're probably rolling it with one of the kids.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And if you go big, then it's like, I mean, I guess to me, it's like if you go big, then McIntyre is probably the guy who's like, okay, deuces, right?
Probably. I mean, it just depends. You're probably like if you're going big, it's probably for a guy that's going to be there for 1 year, right? I mean, so probably still because McIntyre just sat a year, and he probably wants to go play. And then you look over your shoulder if you're handing, you're like, well, Faison Brandon's behind me too. So
right,
probably. But I mean, I do think there's a chance that they could get away with it for another year of a veteran guy who's only going to be here 1 year.
And then that would be, I mean, obviously that's best case scenario if you can get someone like that and it's a perfect fit. And then you can just convince McIntyre and Brandon to have their competition for 2026.
Yeah. I mean,
then it's like,
the more you talk it out,
okay.
the tougher of a sell it sounds, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And if you're both of their camps, it's like, okay. And then you're not going to the portal next year.
Right.
Are you sure about this? Like, at what point do we get a chance? I mean, it's like Ty Simpson in Alabama hung in there, you know, and it worked out well for all parties. But you know, that more often than not, the guy in that situation ends up somewhere else pretty quickly.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. An update in the Phillip Rivers conversation as it relates to the Indianapolis Colts. We'll get back into that coming next. Take your thoughts on the Titans as well. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Preds fans, Smashville Live, returning tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on 102.5 The Game. Live from Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue. Meet your Preds star players up close and personal. Tomorrow, Luke Evangelista and Nick Blankenberg will be the guests. Tomorrow night at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue and only on 102.5 The Game. Joe, we mentioned Phillip Rivers earlier in the show. It was reported last night that the Colts, after losing Daniel Jones on Sunday, looking for some help at quarterback, and that Phillip Rivers would be going through a workout. Now, that was originally reported that the workout was supposed to take place today. Apparently, it took place last night. So Phillip Rivers did his workout with the Colts last night. Jeremy Fowler put it out there that he threw the ball well. So we will see what happens next on that front. Diana Rossini adding that no deal has been reached yet between the Colts and Phillip Rivers. But apparently the workout went well last night. He threw the ball around at the age of 44 for the Indianapolis Colts. Has not played in the NFL since 2020. Joe, what do you make of Old Man River? No pun intended. Maybe some pun intended. Coming back in the NFL.
Crybaby Rivers.
There we go.
Yeah, I may have to become a Colts fan. Indy Ben, step aside, buddy. Maybe I'll make some Colts songs the rest of the year. Like, I may have to become a Colts fan. If Phillip Rivers steps in, there we go. After that much time away, what's the longest? Do we know? What's the longest a quarterback has been "quote unquote" retired in the NFL, or a player? I mean, there's no way it's been anything this long.
5
right?
years is a long time in the NFL.
Nothing comes to mind for me. I mean, Flacco was like that year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
What was this?
He was on his...
AI says Jeff George. How long was that?
Okay, yeah, that does ring a bell. There's no way it was 5 years, right?
It says 5 seasons, 99 to 2004. I'd have to double check. It was just a quick one.
So he was out from 99 to 2004, then he came back?
I don't know. I have to look. It says he sat out for roughly 5 seasons. After playing in 2001, he came back for the Raiders in 2006.
Okay.
I mean,
it doesn't look like he actually played a game in 2006, so there is that.
Well, but also he was still in the league, though. He was with the Redskins, and he was with the Seahawks in 2002.
Okay.
Then he was a year off. Then he was with the Bears in 2004. Then another year. So he was still bouncing around the league.
Just wasn't playing, yeah.
Just wasn't playing. I mean, this is like on the ranch,
coaching high school ball.
Coaching high school ball,
grandfather,
grandkids. Yeah. I mean,
AI is saying something about Tony Mandarich as an offensive lineman in the 90s. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember anything about that, Joe.
Well, I remember a lot about Tony Mandarich, who went to the Packers, took him instead of Barry Sanders.
Good call.
And yet still, they still like won a Super Bowl in the 90s, and the Lions still will never ever win one.
Yeah, Mandarich stopped playing in 91 and he came back in 96 with the Colts. So that would probably be the closest example.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
But
and
he was 25 in 91.
And also an offensive lineman, not a quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest busts of all time. And there was the steroid stuff was going on back then. But yeah, that's still different. That's still different than this in terms of, I mean, I guess you could look at it different ways, right? You could look at it like, would it even be harder though for like a lineman to do that? I guess that's a fair point, but like, I don't know. It's just wild to me. And I will be honest, I didn't realize that you said earlier in the show that it had been that long with Rivers.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's, to me, like it has been that long, but I wonder why because they've done this before and he said no thanks, right?
I guess. I mean, the Colts, since he's played, they've had the Carson Wentz experience, Matt Ryan. They drafted Anthony Richardson. It didn't work out with Anthony Richardson, and they signed Daniel Jones all since he's last played in the NFL. It's pretty wild. And first off, I hope it happens because I'm really interested to see it. Like, I would love to see Phillip Rivers, after not playing for 5 years at the age of 44, get out there and play and see what it looks like. Is he not at least a little bit concerned about, taking some hits at the age of 44 after not playing football for 5 years?
Yeah, you would think so, right? I mean, bones, I can tell you from experience, bones get a little brittle, it gets a little tougher I would think, to take hits from those guys. Man, and just like all that goes into it. It's really interesting. I mean, but I must say, I mean, it would make the Colts, who to me were about to be relegated to just like, nice run, great job with the Sauce Gardner trade. You're screwed. No one wants to even watch you the rest of the year, to like must see TV if he's out there.
Who they have this week?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Let's see here.
Seahawks. Whoever they have.
God.
Oh, so you're basically, that's what you want. If I'm
road,
Phillip Rivers, I'm like,
Seattle.
I'm like, hey guys, check with me after you play that Seahawks defense on the road.
Their next 4 games, they have the Seahawks, the Niners, the Jags again, and the Colts. Good grief.
Wait, the Jags and the last one?
The Jags and the Texans, sorry.
That's tough, man. Is Phillip Rivers gonna? How many wins can
he
Phillip
wouldn't make
Rivers
it through?
get you?
He wouldn't even make it through the
make
season.
It through?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think he would.
I mean, those are having really good defenses for the most part that they're playing.
Well, think about the pass rush with all of them.
Well, a little bit less so with San Francisco, but
yeah, they're not what they were. But yeah, Hines Allen, and then enjoy the Texans at the end. Boy, this is not the time, Phillip. It's just not the time, man. And I mean, I guess. Look, I get it. Like, he still probably gives you more chance than. So Riley Leonard's hurt. So who is starting against Seattle? Would they actually just start Phillip Rivers like immediately?
I mean,
it's not even the same offense or anything when he was there. Not that he can't pick it up, but does that not seem just wild?
It does. Now, Diana Rossini pointed this out, and I guess I was not aware of this at the time, because why would I have been? But Shane Steichen was with the Chargers from 2014 to 2019 with Phillip Rivers there. So there is some familiarity between Steichen and Rivers.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that probably helps some. But so if it's not him, and if Riley Leonard is hurt, who would they even start this?
I have no
Colts
idea.
Fans?
They're speculating they could try to poach Kyle McCord from someone's Eagles practice squad. Okay. So
they don't even have a practice squad. Anybody else?
I'm sure they do. I just have no idea who it is.
Yeah, man.
Brett Rippon.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I might sign Phillip Rivers too.
Give it a shot, Phil. I mean, seriously, if he could win one of these games, if he's able to win any of those games, he should be in the MVP discussion at the end of the year.
Somebody said Billy Volek in talks with the Titans for a workout. Old Billy Volek back out there.
There you go.
Adam Portland wondering if Dante Culpepper and Matt Hasselbeck aren't available.
Oh man,
a lot of people pointing out they should have reached out to Tannehill. I mean, we talked about Tannehill yesterday. Apparently he has called it quits, according to an interview he did with a magazine last month. But I don't know, maybe it was worth a call on the Tannehill
Should they have done a better job of addressing backup once Richardson was out before the deadline, or is this just something you can't really foresee? I guess.
I mean, I think that they like Riley Leonard, but how much they like him enough they think he could have started games and won any. I don't think he's that good, but I mean, that has to be part of it, right?
Yeah.
Indy Ben, let us know. Whenever things go bad for the Colts, we stop hearing from him.
Indy Ben just leaves. What's going on around here?
Yeah, come on. We're help us out here with your Colts.
I mean, I will say, I'll have to turn on the game. Like if Phillip Rivers is playing on Sunday against Seattle, I think I'm going to watch the Colts and the Seahawks on Sunday. I otherwise absolutely would not have.
No, I mean, they need to be flexed now to all possible prime times for the rest of the year. I mean, I guess the Niners game is Monday Night Football. So at least he gets an extra. Yeah, he gets an extra. I mean, that one it's like in the Dome or, whatever, in Lucas Oil, Monday Night Football, You know, can you find a way, Jonathan Taylor, and, you know, just make a few throws here and there? Like, that will be pretty amazing if he's the quarterback.
I just need him mic'd up the whole time. I need all sorts of mic'd up footage from Phillip Rivers.
Can they just forfeit this week? Can they just do that? Just forfeit this game. You know,
no, I need him to get out there.
Against the Seahawks.
I need him to get out there. Give him a go out there.
Well, then I don't think we're going to get to see the Monday night amazing thing at home because the Seahawks you don't want to tangle with them right now, man.
Let's welcome in Dustin to the program on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dustin, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, guys. Hey, I just had a fun one to toss out there. I'm sure as a Titans fan, everyone can appreciate this as much as me, but why don't they look at giving Ryan Tannehill a call? He wouldn't be that much different of a profile player than Daniel Jones, and I think he would plug right in nice with what they got going on over there. So,
thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it. Can you imagine if Tannehill did ultimately decide to come back? Like he did say in that interview we referenced yesterday that he would never say never, but it sounded like he was kind of closing the door and that he's not been throwing for a while now, so it doesn't feel like he's coming back. But can you imagine if he did and it was with the Colts? If you're a Titans fan, it's like, oh, good, Tannehill's playing for the Colts.
Yeah. Well, then as a Titans fan, he's also going to light it up, if he came back. No, I mean, I agree. Like I would have tried really hard to get him. He's younger. It's less time away. And yeah, I mean, he can actually run around, and you can use his legs some.
Can you?
Whereas Tannehill?
I mean, he hadn't played in 2 years. I have no idea what he is right now.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, based on, but again, that's 2 years of a guy who was mobile. This is 5 years of a guy who wasn't. I mean, he's going to make Jared Goff look like, speaking of Dante Culpepper, look like Dante Culpepper. I mean, my gosh.
615
Max protect every play.
Take more of your thoughts on Phillip Rivers potentially joining the Indianapolis Colts. We will get back into the Titans as well. All that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Starting on Thursday between noon and 3, Chase and Big Joe will have your chance to win a $100 Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa gift card and qualify to win a $1,000 Genesis Diamonds gift card as well. It's the 12 Days of Christmas on 102.5 The Game. We are taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. People are loving this Phillip Rivers discussion. One texter, Derek from Nolensville, says, hey, I hear Jim Sorgi is going to be available sometime soon.
Ooh. Curtis Painter?
Yep.
Curtis Painter, anyone? Purdue legends?
Dan Orlovsky, Colts quarterback. Could have given him a call.
I mean, he's probably younger than Rivers, right? They're pretty close.
Probably pretty close.
Probably, yeah, right in that range. A lot of people calling for Tannehill, but again, I mean,
Orlovsky's 42, by the way. He is younger than Rivers.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Tannehill is, I guess, which we missed until Vingan found it, but he has said no, thank you. So, I mean, it's.
I choose to believe he was sitting around at home one day. It was just like, good grief, there's a billion people in this house. I've got all these mouths to feed. I got to go back and play some football. This high school coaching just ain't going to get it done. I need a couple more game checks.
I like Ultra BMW's idea, which is Brady, so we don't have to hear his announcing anymore.
Jeez.
His announcing is not offensively bad,
Yeah,
but it's
better.
still not. But it's still not especially insightful. I mean, it's still like, I know, people think I go overboard on
Here
Greg
we go.
Olson. He's fine, but he's still way better than Brady.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Just talking about Phillip Rivers, and you took the chance to just rip Brady.
Well, I didn't bring him up. Ultra brought him up. Actually, though, Brady has said, by the way, in all seriousness, he has said that, right, that if there was a team that was really in need and it had a chance to do something, that he would not completely close the door. Didn't he say that?
I don't know, because I feel like if he said that, somebody would have taken him up on that by now. I don't know. Like, just look, far be it from me to doubt Tom Brady. Joe does that enough for the both of us. He is 48. I mean, he's 4 years older than Rivers.
Yeah.
At some point, that probably matters, I would assume.
You would think, yeah. But, I mean, the Botox, I don't know if Botox helps you, like, quarterback at all or anything. But, I mean, certainly no shortage of that coursing through his veins.
I mean,
so
look,
maybe
at the end of the day, it's a workout. I don't put a whole lot of stock into, like, Jeremy Fowler. So, he threw the ball well. And it's like, okay, well, it's a workout, okay? So do the Colts actually decide to sign him? That's going to be the thing. Are they that desperate with what they've just done? And look, the Sauce Gardner trade is kind of looming large right now, right? Because you thought you were well on your way to maybe challenging for the 1 seed in the AFC, and it's not worked out that way. And look, Daniel Jones got hurt with the Achilles. He's probably going to be out into next year too, maybe, just depending on how it goes. So what do you do at quarterback? Like, I think if you'd ask Colts fans or ask the Colts front office 3 weeks ago, Joe, they probably were going to sign Daniel Jones to a long-term deal. Or are they still going to? I mean, you're coming off a Achilles. He played really well, but then he got hurt. So what do you do on the Daniel Jones front now?
No, it's amazing how different things look. And again, I still had some doubts. I think we all did. Like, okay, is this Daniel? Like, is this really what he's going to be long term? If so, it's an incredible find. But now, I mean, a big part of his game is, of course, running the ball. And having that threat. Not saying that Achilles takes that out entirely, but I mean,
and didn't we see though, like Rodgers kind of struggled the first year after the Achilles. Kirk Cousins for sure struggled the first year after the Achilles. Like, I know those guys were older than Daniel Jones is, but could be bad.
Well, yeah, and the Achilles, the surgery, like there's a faster recovery time and everything, which is great. But I still think that it doesn't seem like it takes away that the way past recovery. I mean, I've covered guys in college basketball. It's like the whole next year, it's just not the same. And it may never get back all the way the same. And those guys, unlike him, Rodgers could run around and stuff, but those guys aren't as reliant on that threat as he is.
Yeah, what's this offseason of recovery look like for Daniel Jones? One leg, you have a broken fibula.
Yeah.
The other leg,
that sucks.
You have a busted Achilles. You're like, I don't know.
Just immobile.
How do you go for rehab from this? Sounds not fun at all.
Like a full body cast, everybody can just see like his mouth and ask for food. He's just sitting there for months.
Well, and I guess it's easy to say now in hindsight because we know what just happened. But how much regret is there, if any, of letting him play through the broken fibula? Right? Like, clearly there's some compensation there that ends up with the Achilles.
Yeah, and of course that's easy to second guess. But again, like this is a problem with, and again, it's not their fault that Richardson got hurt. But to Ian's point earlier, maybe they should have done something else. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I don't even know what is Riley Leonard's injury. I don't even know.
It's a knee.
But it is pretty amazing that like all of these guys would be hurt, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he's a knee. Technically, I guess he could play on Sunday. We'll see, but he's hurt at the moment, and there's a right knee injury, and it's unclear if he's going to be able to get out there this week or not.
And there's a guy who, if anybody watched him play in college, if he doesn't have the run threat, my goodness, he should not be on the field. Yeah. Like that's the one thing you could do with him when healthy, and you probably would they might go to the freaking wing T with him at quarterback, but if he can't move, then, this is why we're talking about Phillip Rivers. I mean, now it's like it's going to be a big disappointment if it doesn't happen.
I know. Let's head back to our phone line. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the program. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
So I don't think you're going to like my pick. And, Joe, I already know because you like to hate on a lot of the things I say. But don't hate this immediately. Yeah, all the time. Don't hate this immediately. What about Andrew Luck? It ended so poorly, and I'm sure the fans and Andrew Luck hated how it ended. He's had 7 years to rest that back. Be like, hey, dude, give me like 5 games. That's it. If we ever run, cool. We don't ever have to talk about it again, and it makes everybody happy. I don't know.
I love it. I love your idea, just like a lot of your ideas. I'm not an Adam hater. No, I agree. If I'm Carly Ursay Gordon,
get on the headset.
Hey, I'm like, well, what I'm doing is I'm getting on the headset in my office. I'm saying, look, man, I'm gonna give you guys how about $30 million in NIL money for Stanford next year. If you come out and just see if you can,
that legal?
Let's. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you were getting these teams were
getting
NIL
Colts
NIL money for winning these basketball tournaments. I thought that was crazy. That's
true.
Yeah, just whatever. Like here's $100 million for your athletic department. Do it whatever you want with it. You come out here, let's make one run. You be the all-time legend, win a Super Bowl, then hang it right back up. We will do all we can so you don't get hurt.
The problem
It'd be the most amazing story in sports.
I mean, look, I'd love to see that too. The problem is, I don't know if you've seen Andrew Luck lately. I think his playing weight was at about 235. It looks like he's at about 160 right now. Like he's lost a ton of weight.
Yeah. I bet you can still spin it though, man.
I bet he can.
I bet you can still spin it. I mean, seriously. Adam, it's a great idea. Just like many of your ideas. I love it. I mean, like they must have tried, right? They must have tried.
I mean, they've talked about this before. I think throughout the years they've tried to get him back like 50 times, and it's always been no. So,
but that's the key now. He's in charge of Stanford. His whole life is trying to turn around Stanford football. I'm not sure the coaching hire he made was a good one. We'll see. But like that, there you go. Like Andrew, like we will do all we can to help you financially with Stanford football in the future if you give us 6 weeks. I mean, do it. Try it.
It's worth a shot. It's worth a phone call.
This is a great. When you're a billionaire, you can do stuff like that.
615-737-1025. Our phone number 615-737-1025. Join Chase and Big Joe today from noon to 3 at Duncan, located at 926 Gallatin Avenue in Nashville. Stop by with a stuffed toy. Donate it to a child this holiday season. 1025 The Game teaming up with Nashville Children's Alliance to give all these awesome stuffed toys donated by you. Just for stopping by, you'll also be qualified for a 4-pack of tickets to the all-inclusive 501 Club at Bridgestone Arena to a Preds home game. Special shout-out to the Metro Nashville Police Department, the Catalano Group, the Bluemont Group, Family Leisure, Thompson Machinery, Richmar Florist, Right Time HVAC, and ReadyLine for this, and their help on this as well. For more information, a list of Duncan locations that you can donate a stuffed toy, all you got to do, visit thegamenashville.com/toy. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe, I got a bone to pick with PFF. Okay. Glennon put this out there yesterday, as he's known to do. The PFF grades from Sunday's performance for the Titans against the Browns. The Mandor, a 45.2 in run blocking, a 23 in pass blocking, 2 pressures, 0 sacks. What does a guy got to do to get a higher grade from PFF against Myles Garrett? Huh?
Well, I will
Titans
say,
every one of the Titans offensive linemen should get a 99 from what they did on Sunday, just by keeping their quarterback alive.
Or is Mike McCoy just that much of a genius for out-scheming Jim Schwartz?
Maybe so. I will say
I was interested. Go ahead.
The people who want Jim Schwartz as a head coach, I did take note of that on Sunday. I was like, Titans offense making this Jim Schwartz-led defense look pretty bad.
Yeah, of all people. I did wonder because, I can't remember a play where I thought, I can't remember a play. And, of course, no one ever singles Myles Garrett anyway, right? Unless, whatever, unless the play, you roll into the other side or whatever. I can't remember a play where I thought, I remember Dan Moore actually blocking him. You know what I mean? Obviously.
They did a lot of chipping.
Yeah, they did chipping, doubling, whatever. But it's but at the same time, it's so what did he do? How do you come to that grade? This is another great example of why these game grades are so stupid. And I just also Sunday Night Football, I hate so much the player intros, and they tell you, PFF, he's ranked 33rd out of 111 at his position. It's I understand that Chris Collinsworth owns the freaking thing, but please, can we get rid of that?
I mean, the Mandor was reinforced steel on Sunday, and here we are talking about a 23 pass blocking grade. That's disrespectful. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is if you're him, you can say Myles Garrett had 1 pressure. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm the left tackle.
Grade
Myles
that.
Garrett had 1 pressure. Yeah. Well, I'd love to know what the Titans what is the Titans grade for him?
Yeah.
Why can't we? Why can we see how the teams? As I've definitely heard, the whole if you compared, team grades to what PFF does, you'd find they basically laugh at the PFF people.
By the way, Latham a 63.8 in the run, 79 in the pass.
Wow.
1 pressure, 1 sack.
Okay. So he got credit for giving up the 1 Myles Garrett sack. Was that was technically on him?
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. And yet he was miles beyond Mandor in pass blocking the day.
Disrespectful.
I don't know.
By the way, Jeffrey Simmons credited with 10 pressures in the game. 10.
Yeah, which is, I think, a career high, which is a ridiculous number.
Yeah, especially for, an interior defensive lineman. There is that. Good stuff from Simmons.
Simmons is having an incredible year, man.
He got called for that offside and then almost went on a mission there for a few plays.
I mean, he should be an all-pro this year, right? And I don't know if is he going to be because he plays for the Tennessee Titans right now? I have no idea. But he should be an all-pro.
Yeah. No, he's a good example of it is possible, even on a terrible team with a bad, although I would argue overachieving defense, it's still possible for a player to be at the highest level. I think he's the best tackle in the league, and I never thought we would say that again about him in this league after the last couple of years.
I mean, Joe Thomas was on those bad Browns teams forever. That guy was all pro year after year.
Yeah, I do think sometimes with offensive linemen especially, it just becomes Joe Thomas, right? He's the. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't great. He was great, but sometimes I feel like it just gets into who do we know? Okay, yeah, we'll go with that guy. Simmons should be an all-pro, and obviously, what you hope if you're the Titans is that this is the start of him kind of doing the same things and still being a great player when you hopefully get yourself back to being a remotely competitive football team.
Is this the first time all year we've talked about PFF grades in the aftermath of a game? We haven't done it very much.
Not much.
Not been a whole lot of PFF grades to look at, frankly.
First, but few and far between. I think.
Far between.
Yeah, which is good. But yeah, I mean I appreciate Glennon tweeting it out. I do.
It's very detailed.
I appreciate Glennon tweeting it out. I appreciate that he was able to summon the strength to do that even after his Virginia Cavaliers completely screwed the pooch and lost a freaking Duke so that they can play in the I don't know what crappy bowl game they're playing in.
Is Phillip Rivers an Indianapolis Colt by the end of the day today, Joe Rexrode?
For the sake of all of us, I hope so.
I say yes. I say he gets it done, and he better be playing on Sunday against the Seahawks. Welcome back to the league, Phillip.
Like, I think that actually might be like elder abuse if they play him against the Seahawks on Sunday.
Just get the ball out quickly.
I mean,
he needs to go study game tape from the Titans against the Browns this last week and say, let's do that.
Yeah, call a lot. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, how does 53 carries sound to you?
Like it's the Seattle team that you can't run the ball on. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's true. You won't have 53 carries. It'll be 3 and out over and over again. No, I hope so. I mean, it would be really an amazing story. And the Colts they got to try, right? They got to try whatever they can at this point.
We'll be back tomorrow morning for the Predators post-game show in the immediate aftermath of the game ending. Preds game starts tonight. I believe at 8:30 is the official time. I think the puck drop's going to be around 8:50. So I'll see you guys on about 1 hour of sleep tomorrow morning. Sound good?
Get a nap.
See how it goes. That does it for us today. Next man up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.